Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our next set of classes will be January 9th. That's a Tuesday. It'll be the same times as this time. So
Okay.
I have a morning class that's from 10 to 11. And then of course y'all are very familiar with the afternoon class that's 1:30 to 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anybody that may be interested, let them know so that we can get them signed up to start. And I know Miss Linda, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to, don't tell me, Janie?
Janie, yes. No, I hadn't talked to her, but I will today.
And if you think I need to touch base with her, I don't mind to call and talk to her and explain to her more, or, so I want people to feel comfortable coming and checking it out, and then feel the permission to go, that's not for me, because I don't take it personal when people say it's not for them. I understand. So, I just want people to
I'll let you know next week.
Okay, that sounds good.
And if you need to talk to her again.
I sure don't mind to talk to anybody. I know in the morning class, they had requested for me to do a advanced class. They want to learn part 2. So people have different needs. So some people want to do seated Tai Chi, and I think that's great. And some people want to do standing. We can be in the same class. And then, like I said, I don't have very many people that want to go to part 2. But one of the ladies in the morning class, she's been taking Tai Chi for a couple years. So she's wanting to learn the next part of Tai Chi. So there's a place for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making sure y'all can see me. I got my chair.
Are we going for sitting down?
You want to do seated today? We can, if you want me to, I'll do standing. And then if anybody wants to stay seated, we can do that too. You want to do standing, Miss Linda?
Either one suits me.
All right. Miss Ruth Ann, do you have a preference?
Can she?
You're on mute. She's on mute. Raise your hand for standing and don't raise your hand for seated.
I want to
All right.
see.
Okay, so Miss Doris, I will refer back to seated. But as you know, many of the movements that we do, the hand movements are the same. A lot of times our feet are pushing into the floor. We've talked about that. Mm-hmm. And there are some that are a little different, and I'll talk about that as we get there. But the first thing we do is walk around the room, open and close our hands, and just get our bodies generally warmed up and get ready for activity. We never want to exercise with cold muscles. It sets ourselves up for injury. So just, it doesn't take much to just warm up those muscles, open and closing hands, pumping those arms, walking around. You probably feel yourself getting warm as you do those things. If it's cold in your house or wherever you're doing the class, then your muscles will be cold. But if you've had the heater on and it's warm in your place, then your muscles will be warm because of the environment that you're in. Now, outside, it has been right chilly. So it kind of takes me a while for my muscles to get warmed up when I've been outside. But I tell you, the first thing I did this morning was come up here and turn that heater on. So it's been nice and warm in this room today. Thankfully, y'all know I like warm. So we're going to start with our warm-ups as we always do. And whether we're seated or standing, we want to make sure we have good posture. We want our feet to be grounded. Typically, even if you're seated, your feet are shoulder width apart. You're sitting up in your chair, still having that good posture. Remembering to breathe throughout our movements. We're going to start with our neck. We bring our hands up, palms down, towards our chin and chest. Push away from our bodies, and then follow those hands all the way down, feeling a little stretch in the back of your neck. So, you know, when you push those hands out, you don't lock your joints. You still keep that soft bend. The other one starts out the same way. We drop one hand to our hips and follow the other hand as we look towards that shoulder, feeling that slight stretch coming back to the front. So we're not going as far as we can go. We're just going until we feel that stretch. This is the one I get kind of stuck on because my neck gets so stiff. And this just helps really stretch those muscles, especially when they're warm. They stretch real nicely, become more mobile and flexible. Now for our shoulders, we roll our shoulders forward, small circles. And back. So we think about the size of a quarter. That's the size of your circles. And that's a challenge to keep things small. But rolling forward probably feels a little awkward, and rolling back probably feels like a nice massage you give yourself as you roll through all those back shoulder muscles. Now our big circle, we bring our hands up, palms up, and we push down in front of us. Inhale as we come up, and exhale as we push down. One more. Next is for our spine. We grab our ball. One hand pushes towards the ground, keeping the soft bend in your elbow. The other comes up and pushes up towards the ceiling. We're separating the heavens and the earth. Back to our ball and switch. Come into our ball and switch. Really stretches that spine. Excuse me, my nose itches. So these first ones with our upper body, they're the same seated as they are standing. We don't have any leg movements that go with the arms. It may be a little bit different because your legs are bent and you actually have a lap. So your hand placement may be a little bit different. But I see y'all are all standing, aren't you?
And so far,
Yeah.
Boots and all, girl.
I haven't had to move my feet yet.
With our ball, we're going to take it for a ride, a short trip. Hand on top guides us in the direction that we're moving. Switch, come across. So we're only moving our torso, and that ball is just going along for the ride. We can spend time with our warm-up stretches and think about those principles and get those benefits from Tai Chi. but also because we are moving all of our major joints and stretching the muscles that surround those joints, that helps your body become more flexible, which improves your mobility. It decreases stiffness and tension that you may carry around. So you can do these simple stretches every single day, and you'll find yourself really loosening up. Those are the 2 for our neck, the 2 for our shoulders, the 2 for our spine. So those are our upper body ones, the ones that don't have any lower movements. So for people who have endurance or issues with endurance, maybe you have a hard time standing for a long time, you may start seated and do those exercises from a seated position and then stand up whenever we get to the lower body ones, or you can remain seated. So there's flexibility in how you do this. That's why I like it, whether it be because of shoes, whether it be because you're just having a bad day with your joints. And some people just aren't strong enough. Maybe they're a little dizzy in the head. I know people have problems with vertigo. And so it's not that you're physically unable, but maybe your head just feels a little dizzy. So it's probably wise to do it seated. So I say that to say, listen to your body and what it needs, but at the same time, be willing to push yourself a little outside of your comfort zone. Anytime we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, that's when we start to grow and get stronger. And that's true with all kinds of things in life. So let's go to our lower body. We're starting with our hips. We're going to shift our weight to one leg. We're going to place our heel forward and our hands go back for a counterbalance. Pause in the middle, and then toe goes back like a kickstand and hands are forward. Remind yourself to breathe. That nice stable leg has a little bit of a bend in it to absorb that weight. Lower your center of gravity. Come back to center. Shift weight to the other leg. And now other heel goes forward, hands back. Pause in the middle and toe back. If you're doing this seated, you don't do this toe back. You'll fall out your chair. So you take your heel forward and then come to a seated position, but still you can move your arms. So that's still warming up your shoulder joints, even though technically we're in the hip warm-up stretch section. Other one for our hips. We shift our weight to one leg. Our hands go in the direction of the weight shift and tap that foot out. Hold on a second.
Oh, shoot. Oh, got a cramp.
Shift to the, you got a cramp? Oh, girl, those hurt.
Yeah.
Shift, tap, shift, tap, keeping that upright posture. Don't lean with the weight shift. There's that tendency to want to, lean over, but keep your body upright as you tap that foot out. If you need to hold on to your chair and skip this hand motion, that's okay. So the things we're doing with our legs right here, these are like top of the list of what can help you with falls prevention. And that is weight shifting. So we shifted the weight to one leg and we allowed this one leg to hold our weight while 3 times we move that. So that really works on endurance of those muscles, holding all of our weight on that one leg. Then we let the other leg be the stabilizer as we move this other one. Then we shifted the weight side to side. And so that challenged those muscles in a different way. That's how we get them stronger, by challenging them. The next one is for our knees, but we do some weight shifting here too. We have our loose fist. We shift the weight to one leg. We lift and tap that toe out and punch opposite hand. Bring it back, shift the weight, lift, tap and punch. So when we punch, again, we don't completely lock those arms. We keep that soft bend in our arms. Back, shift, lift, tap and punch. So see all this weight shifting side to side again. We're allowing one leg to hold our weight as we shift to the other. Now we're going to step out, just a small step forward. We're going to keep both feet on the floor as we shift some weight to that front foot and punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. Challenging ourselves to keep our body upright as we shift the weight, so we're not leaning forward. Just as when we shifted weight side to side, we didn't lean sideways. Shift, bring it back, side by side. Take your time with the shift. Make sure that step is small. Feet both stay on the floor as you shift forward and bring it back. Let me turn to the side and do the last two. So we shift, step, that's how small it is. Shift. Notice my body stays upright as I shift the weight, shift, step, shift and punch, bring it back side by side. All right, now for our ankles. So we don't have any arm movements here. Shift the weight to one leg and heel toe with that other foot. Just rocking that foot, heel toe. Bring it back. Shift the weight and then heel toe with that other foot. So this kind of movement you can do seated very easily to help with, yes, mobility of your ankle, but it encourages circulation of your legs. And then big toe, little toe. So we're going side to side with that foot. You can feel all those muscles stretch, improving the flexibility of that ankle joint that probably is very forgotten about. All right, give yourself a good shake. So those are our warm-ups. We kept principles in mind. We went slowly through those. We reminded ourselves to have that upright posture. Our focus on that weight transfer, having the upright posture, completely transferring the weight and trusting ourselves to hold that weight by moving the other. We remembered not to lock our joints, whether it be our elbows or our knees, so that energy flows through our body and those joints stay what's called open. All right, so nice, good shimmy shake. Now we're ready for our basic 6. So I'm gonna go through. I'm just gonna say the names of the movements, and this is kind of our test to see what we need to work on. Nice stable stance, upright posture, reminding ourselves to not hold tension and to continue to breathe. Hands are to our side, weight on both feet. Here we go, and commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. And close it out. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've done our standing Tai Chi. We've been seated, and y'all know I think that seated is more challenging than standing. It's definitely not the easy way out, huh?
I don't know about that.
You don't know about it? Well, if you do it seated and you're constantly pushing those feet into the floor as you go through those hand movements, man, my legs get so wore out from pushing my feet into the floor. Now, I probably push my feet harder than is necessary, but I'm trying to do too much. So it always wears me out more than whenever I have to do standing, where I just shift and step, shift and bring that foot forward. To me, that's a lot easier than pushing. But let's talk about those movements. First, starting with commencement. It's a step forward. It's a shift to the right foot, step left, heel toe, and it's a small step forward. Shift to that left foot, and then bring that right foot forward. So that's what's happening with our feet in commencement, is a step forward. Shift, step, heel, toe, shift, and feet side by side. So what did we do just there? Shift, weight, step, shift, weight, follow step, and then there's weight on both legs. That's what we do in that warm-up that I tell you is like the top things for helping you with falls prevention, is that weight shift. And we do it to the side. We shift to one leg, which is our right leg. We step left, we shift forward and bring the other one back. So it's a step forward, but you see two different types of weight shifting: side to side, forward, shift, adjust weight. If you want to improve your balance without doing these Tai Chi moves, you can do just that, and that is step, shift, step, shift. So when you step, your foot kind of rolls on the floor. You heel, toe, then shift, step, heel, toe, shift. So you're not just slapping your foot out there. You're not just going step, 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 step. You know, that didn't look very smooth, did it? So when what I call Tai Chi walk, we take a small step, heel, toe, so it kind of rolled down, then shift the weight. Step, heel, toe, then shift the weight. So when I step, heel, toe, it's an empty step. It has no weight yet. I just placed it on the floor, heel, toe. Then I give it weight. Place it on the floor, heel, toe, then give it weight. So you can find a little path in your house, wherever you feel comfortable, and Tai Chi walk. Step, shift, step, shift, step, shift. You see all that weight shifting? That can help with your balance. You can do it side to side. Forget all of our Tai Chi. Go to basics where it's weight shifting. So I can start here at the edge of this wall. I can step, toe. And when you step to the side, you step, toe, heel, or ball heel, because you're really not stepping on your toes, are you? Because we're not doing that ballerina stuff. It's the ball of your foot. So when you step to the side, it's ball, heel. When you step forward, it's heel, ball, or heel, toe. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Heel, toe. But when you go to the side and you take a step, it's ball, heel. Then shift. step, ball, heel, shift, ball, heel, shift, ball, heel, shift. So you're not just slapping that foot out there. You're placing it with intention, then giving it weight. So that's Tai Chi walking sideways. And that's exactly what we do when we do waving hands in clouds. Step. When we take that step just outside of hip width, shift, and then we step around about hip width. So that's the placement of our foot, a little bit wider than hip width, shift, right about hip width. You can play around with that foot placement to see what is most comfortable for you. What I know for sure is if your feet are too close, you can't shift weight. You will fall down unless you're just really, really strong. But that's not a stable way to shift weight with your feet are too close. Also, if your feet are way too wide and you go to shift weight, it's kind of hard to shift all your weight to one leg when you're this wide. So you want to find that happy medium as you step, and it's smaller than you probably think. Because we're ingrained to think, oh, we got to do big stuff in order to do anything that's worthwhile. See, that's not true, especially in Tai Chi. Our moves are very small. So that walks us forward and that walks us side to side. And that really helps with our balance. That's the basis of our Tai Chi. So everything we do in Tai Chi has a weight shift, right? That's why it is evidence-based proven to help with falls prevention, is because all of this weight shifting. Now, some of our other benefits go along with the other moves, but that weight shifting, man, that really gets those muscles strong. So back to commencement, where we take that step forward, the hand movement that goes with it. What I want you to really pay attention to is when your hands go a certain direction, where is that weight going? So in commencement, I bring my hands up facing each other. Nothing's happening with my feet. I'm holding my weight on both legs. It's when I bring my hands down that I shift the weight to that right foot. After that weight is shifted, I step, heel toe, empty step. There's no weight on that left foot just yet. Okay. I finish that U that I draw with my hands. And when my hands are here, now I'm ready to shift the weight. So I shift weight to my left foot as I take those hands forward. So didn't it look like I was coming towards you as I shift the weight and my hands come out? Once my hands are out, I bring the right foot forward and bring the hands back. When I brought those hands back, the weight went to both legs. So again, hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, empty, bring the hands, finish that U. When we get here, shift as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, and that takes us to our next move. So that's commencement. Hands go up, down, they draw a U, out, and in. So coming closer, I'm going to turn to the side. My hands start out by my the sides of my legs. I bring them up, down, draw a U, out, and in. So you saw my wrist kind of move there, didn't you? When my hands come up, my fingers are pointed down. When they go down, my fingers are pointed up. Fingers are out as they go out, and bring them in, and I bring my hands up. And that gets me ready for open and close. So there's that little bit of wrist movement in our commencement move. up, down, draw that U, and then out and in. So I usually talk about it this way: up, down, in, up, out, and back in. So
do it again. Do it again.
Okay, it is a U. So don't so when you come up, you're gonna draw a U here, and then out and in, or you can think of it as up, down, in, up. It's more of a squared off U.
Okay.
Open.
Okay. I remember that. Okay.
So the U really seems to help people that when they think about drawing a U. To me, it's backwards. I don't draw a U like that. But we come up, now we draw the U. Down, curve, up. There's our U. Out and in. So that's commencement. How it matches up with our feet. Remember, we come up, nothing happening with our feet. When we come down, that's when we shift right, step left, finish the U, shift left as the hands go out, bring the right foot forward, then our hands come back. So that's commencement. It's wild how complicated it is considering it's our first move, right?
I just got to get, Jennifer, I just got to get my brain. It should flow real easy because I have done something. It's come automatic. Once you get the gist of it, once you learn what you're doing now, it will flow just, it's nothing to it. But I just got to get my brains to coordinate with it.
One thing that helped me is breaking it down. So you know that what your footwork is shift right, step left, shift left, bring the right foot forward. Okay, so you know that's your footwork. It's one step forward. Shift, step, shift, step. And then your handwork, we just went over where we went up, draw the U, out, and in. So now we've done the feet by ourselves and the hand by ourselves. Now, when it comes to putting that all together, that's where it starts getting jumbled because it's like, that's way too many things. So what helped me was to do it together, but break it down. So just do that first part where you go up, down, shift right. So just feel that, what it feels like to come up and then down, shift right. So that's just that very first move of commencement, but just practicing it that way, where you just come up, down, shift right. So then you get a feel of doing two things at one time. I felt my hands go down and I felt the weight shift to my right foot. Up, down. So just experience that. Let that sink in. Let that make sense to you.
Okay.
That one move where your hands and feet are doing something at the same time, let that get easy for you and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Down and down. My weight's going to my right foot as my hands go down. That just feels like those two things go together. And then add the next step. So once those hands come down and that weight shifts to the right foot, you put your left foot out there. So then practice that. Practice up, down, shift right, step left.
Okay.
So up, down, step left. So see, now we're adding in all the moves.
Okay.
So right here in the beginning, see the hands and the feet do something at the same time. And then our foot does something by itself. It steps left. Now our hands are going to do something by themselves. They're going to finish drawing the U.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing, our hands did something by itself. Now we're going to do something together. Down and shift. Now our foot's going to do something by itself. Step left. I mean, step right. No, step left. Sorry. Now our hands want to do something by themselves. Bring it up. Now we're ready to do hands and feet together. That's when we take our hands out and shift the weight to that left foot. Shift. Now our foot wants to do something by itself. Foot and our hands. Hands. So we went from hands by themselves, feet and hands. Foot by itself, hands by itself. Foot and hands together, foot by itself, hands by itself. Okay. So that's how we can break down that one move, one piece at the time. And so you can take notes in any way you think will be helpful for you, but it's hands come up, down, shift, right. Step left, hands finish the U. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward, hands come back. So if you write those things down, if that's helpful for you, I'm a visual person, so I like to write stuff on papers and tape it to the wall, and let that paper be my memory. So I don't have to be thinking. Once you practice it, you don't need that paper anymore because your body's doing it without you even thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the meantime, just do that one step at the time and add the next step in once you feel comfortable with that first move. So here, oh yeah, we're good with bringing our hands up. Let's add down and shift. All right, back to the beginning. Bring the hands up, down and shift. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. Bring the hands up, down and shift. I'm going to throw that foot forward. Boom, there it goes. All right, I got this. Hands come up, down and shift. Step that foot forward. And then add what the hands want to do next. Up, down, shift, step, finish the U. Shift as those hands go forward. Right foot forward, hands come back. Now we're ready for open and close, right? We're the masters of this one. Hands facing each other, and let's just take a breath. And exhale. When you inhale, your hands separate. When you exhale, they come closer together. So the open and close is a breath. Now you can physically move your hands open and physically push those hands closed, and that adds to that gentle resistance of that movement. That principle, gentle resistance as you push, pull open and push close. Either way that works for you. The breath or gentle resistance. It's still a breath. You're still going to breathe, but the amount of muscle that you use as you move those hands is completely up to you, and that's open and close. So putting commencement, open and close together. Hands come up, shift as those hands go down. Step left, hands come in and up. Now we shift as we take those hands out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. How's that? Those are our first two moves. So commencement. Huh? Go ahead, Miss Linda.
I'm getting better, but you got to do one step at a time. Me to get them together.
That's right.
What you're doing.
Yeah, I just want y'all to be patient with yourself, because when we start doing hands and feet and stuff like that, then it does get complicated. It very much challenges your brain. Now when you do it, this movement seated. All right, now I'm seated. I have my feet engaged into the floor. I have my hands to my side. I'm going to come up, down, draw that U, out, and in, open and close. So when I do it seated, I don't have to worry about what's going on with my feet in relation to what my hands are doing. I can push one foot into the floor, push the other foot, push, push, open, close. So there I pushed and pushed and pushed with each little direction I went. So when I came up, no push. Down, push, right. Come up, push left, push right, push left, open, close. So on the open close, you can continue to push, or you can just let your feet just be connected to the floor, no pushing as you open and close. So you're in control of when, how much pressure you use when you're seated and you're engaging your legs. But in some ways, let's just say you don't push those feet into the floor. When you practice the upper body movement seated, open, close, in a way it's easier because you only have that one thing to think about, right?
So you have your feet side by side there, Jennifer?
They're about hip width apart, even seated. So my feet aren't touching each other like this.
Right.
They're about hip width apart. The same as if I were standing. That's about how far my feet would be. So even seated, you want to have a nice stable stance, and you want to have really good posture. Even when you're seated, you don't want to just sit back in your comfy chair and just like, you want to engage your muscle, your core muscle. This is your stomach muscles and your back muscles. That's your core. When you have those strong, it helps support your body so that you can stand upright and have that good posture. And then you're less likely to fall when your core is strong. And so when we move, we keep those muscles tight, particularly when we do waving hands in clouds. So here we're moving our torso side to side. So as I'm moving, I'm tightening all these muscles up in my stomach, and I'm using my belly button as a guide. So I'm pretending that my belly button is the force that pushes me from side to side. So all my muscles in my stomach are tight. Do you feel that when you move side to side and tighten up your muscles? We do it whenever we have our ball and we're going side to side for our spinal warm up. tighten these muscles and let that belly button push. You're really thinking about that belly button. In Tai Chi, they refer to that as your dantian, but we're more familiar with our belly button. But it's that part of your body that guides you from side to side. Now, can you just turn side to side and never tighten your stomach muscles? Well, yeah, you can do that, but in the name of doing something more, adding more to the movement to make you better, tightening those muscles and letting that belly button guide you side to side, and then your muscles are getting stronger because you're using them. So when we do commencement, open and close. Now, our stomach muscles, you probably weren't holding them real tight, but they were engaged. They're not just flapped out there. They were engaged. You were letting it support your body as you went through that movement. But the next movements with single whip and waving hands in clouds, you're going to start engaging your core. So we're here with open and close. For our first single whip, we go to the right. We shift left, step right, and then we adjust weight to both legs. Push, turn, separate. So I engaged my muscle as I opened up my hands. But I really felt this chest open, and I felt the muscles in my back stretch. So up close, this is what my hands look like. Push, turn, separate. So you see my shoulders went back, and it really opened up that chest. So you feel the difference between if you just follow one hand and leave the other one out front, or if you bring the other one out, you feel the difference. It really opened up that chest. Anytime you're engaging muscle or using your muscle, you're helping it get better. Whether you're working on the flexibility of the muscle by stretching it, or using it to make it stronger. So we want to try to do as much as we can so that we can get as best as we can. So that single whip, shift, step, adjust weight. Now our hands push, turn, separate. Our eyes follow the hand opposite of the foot that stepped out. So in this case, we follow our left hand. So that's the single whip. So we do it twice, not one after the other, but first we do it to the right, shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, moving both hands, but your eyes follow the left hand. Let's add it to our commencement and open and close. So we have commence, we bring those hands up, down, shift right, step left, hands come in and up, shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip, shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, following that left hand, shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, and that gets us ready for waving hands and clouds. So how are you doing now up through our first single whip?
Maybe a little better.
Good. So you know, if we do it seated, we're coming here. We go push, turn, separate. So we don't have to worry about feet. But the one good thing about our single whip standing is we do something with our feet, which is shift, step, adjust weight. Now our hands get a turn. Push, turn, separate. So we did the something with our legs, and then we did the something with our arms. So to me, that movement is a little easier because of that. Because you do one thing here, then you do one thing here. Now we're ready for waving hands and clouds. We'll bring that right foot, right hand back. Now we're going to follow our words right here where we step and switch. So this is where we start walking sideways, like I was talking to you earlier. I just stepped. Now I'm going to shift. Then I'm going to follow step. Shift, step, shift, follow step. Shift, step, shift, follow step. So this probably sounds very obvious, but I'm going to say it. I cannot move this leg until I get all the weight off of it. I have to give all the weight to this other leg before I can move this one. Mm-hmm. I cannot move a leg with weight on it.
Right.
Mm-mm. So that's what we're thinking about here is we step. Now we're giving all this foot the weight so that this foot can step. Now we give the other all the weight so that one can step.
Right.
All the weight so that one can step. All the weight so that one can step. All the weight, that one can step. So that's what we're doing. We're doing weight transfer with the step, weight transfer with the step. It's Tai Chi walking sideways. And we're doing it 6 times. 6 steps. We step out 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4, shift 5, shift 6. Bless you. So 6 steps we're taking. So we do it. Huh?
Then we go back the other way.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We just did this to the right.
Okay. Okay. That was my question. Okay.
When we get done doing it to the right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do another single whip, but this time to the left.
Okay.
Step left. Adjust weight. Push. Turn. Separate. Following the right hand. Shift right. Bring that left foot, left hand back. Waving hands and clouds. So footwork wise, we step left, shift, step right. Mm-hmm. Shift right, step left, mm-hmm. Shift left, step right, shift right, step left, shift left, step right. So see, just what you said, Miss Linda, we did it the other way. So regardless of what our hands were supposed to be doing, we did Tai Chi walking sideways. We took 6 steps. Mm-hmm. We did an open and close. We did a single whip. Now we're ready to walk 6 steps to the left. That's what we just did. I have found it's easier to count to 6 than 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that does, because it helps you to know that you got to move both the legs, one at a time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So my goal for y'all is with falls prevention is to practice weight shifting. If don't worry about if you get these steps perfect. If your goal is falls prevention, practice weight shifting. Okay. We'll get the other. We'll keep practicing it. We'll keep instructing it. But in the meantime, if falls prevention is your goal, I want you to do weight shifting. So whether it be Tai Chi walking forward, where you step, shift, step, shift, take your time. We're not getting in a hurry here. Walking slowly, empty stepping, shifting weight, empty stepping, shifting weight. When you walk slowly, that works your muscles in a different way than when you speed walk.
Okay.
So walking slow will help your muscles become more stable than if you were walking fast. So, and again, walk sideways, keep that upright posture, don't lean with the weight shift, and that's going to help get these muscles stronger.
I need that. I really need that because I'm off balance. That is exactly right. Because I can, if I turn the wrong way, I have to catch myself from falling. I have to catch myself from falling.
Let me say this too. I have you walking forward and I have you walking side to side, but let's just say that's challenging for you. Stand behind a chair or a table or hold a wall, whatever you have available to you, and widen your stance to about hip width apart and shift holding the chair. Shift. And then if you feel brave enough, tap that toe out, just like we do in our warm-ups. We're not going anywhere. Our chair's here to hold us so we don't fall, but we're shifting weight. So that's a good place to start. You can stagger your stance here where one foot is further is up and the other one's back. You can shift weight to the front and then shift weight to the back, holding your chair the whole time. You're shifting weight front and back, front and back, and then switch. Put the other leg forward, front and back. So that gives you that nice stable chair to hold on to, but you're practicing weight shift. You can do that leg swing, holding that chair, shift, tap your heel out front, pause, tap your heel back, all while you're holding that chair. All those moves we do in our warm-ups, holding the chair, it's the weight shift that is where magic happens. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's give ourselves a nice fist massage. We'll work on it again next week. It's already 2:30. But we've done a lot. We've done a lot today, breaking it down and talking about what is most important. Depending on what your goals are. What is most important for falls prevention specifically. All right, gather tension. No, that's not the place we want to be, and let it go. Create tension and let it go. And just, I want you to scan your body throughout the day to make sure you're not holding tension in your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Those are the main places that I hold tension, that I catch myself. Let it go. Because if you continue to hold tension, you will start having pain. Okay. Inhale up and push those hands down as you exhale. One more. We have our right fist represents our strength. Our left fingers together represents our friendship. Our thumb end represents humility. So strength, friendship, and humility. We put those together in mutual respect. We say namaste.
Namaste.
So very good, y'all. I love how y'all are willing to work hard, break it down, and not give up. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
So
Thank
we're not, you're welcome. We're not here to stress. We're here to just do ourselves better, right?
Mhm.
Right.
All right. Well, if y'all need me, let me know. If not, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Love
Love
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Bye-bye.